master of HTML or you're just starting out, this video is for you. For the ones starting out, I will give you the basic outline of HTML, and for those who are already in the field, this will be a reminder because you really need to be up in your game. Hello my people, and welcome to today's video. I'm so excited to have you here. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe, and you share with other people. So let's get into it. First of all, you need to consider if you have what it takes to run HTML. And before we consider if we have the requirements, let us define what HTML is. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is used to tell the browser how to structure a web page. Now, what you require to run HTML. First of all, you need a development environment, which is not so complex. You may use Notepad, VS Code, Sublime Text, and many others. So if you don't have those other softwares, or maybe your machine has a problem, you can just begin with Notepad. And also you require a browser. So let me show you if you don't have any other software development environment, you can use Notepad. You need to save your file with a .html extension. So here, let's save it on the desktop. And let us call it index.html. We have saved it on the desktop, so let us check out for a file known as index.html here. Here it is. This is our file. Now you can note that it has been saved with a browser icon. That means this file will be opened in the browser. If we open it, it is empty, so you will not see anything. That we have done with Notepad. Let us move on to the next thing. Now maybe you do have Visual Studio Code or VS Code. So for VS Code, navigate and open VS Code. And then you need to have a folder that you're working with. Let's create a folder, the desktop, and call it HTML. Projects. Let's open it in VS Code. Let's go here, files, then open folder, then search it on the desktop because that is where we saved it, and here we go. Select folder. Now that our folder is opened here, we can create a new file in it. Click here. You have HTML projects. Click on this plus sign. Then we can do index.html. Now our file is created. You can type in. Let's go back to our desktop and see what has happened in our folder known as HTML projects. Inside this folder, you see you have the index.html file, which also has that browser icon, meaning you are able to open it in the browser. Now that we have understood how to create the folder, create the index.html file, let us move forward and do a brief introduction for the structure of HTML and basic concepts. Now in HTML, we have something known as a tag. And also we have something known as an element. HTML has its basic structure. So let's do Notepad first. The first thing you define in HTML, you define the document type or the version of HTML you're using. So you will type doc type HTML. This defines HTML5, version 5 of HTML. After you define the version, you come to the root element. So for this, we have HTML written that way as the opening tag, and this way as the closing tag. And this, we call this the root element because everything in HTML is contained in this HTML element. And now inside the HTML element, we have two other major elements, which is the head and the body. As you can see, I have only written the opening tag for the body. We can comfortably add the closing tag for the head so that you can see how it goes, head, and then the closing tag for the body. Now, head has its function. It contains metadata, it contains the title for the page. And the body has now the major or other contents for the document. Now that we have seen how this can work, let us now go to VS Code because it is way simpler there. In VS Code, you can use a shortcut to get the whole structure of the HTML document. Shift 1 to get the exclamation mark, then press enter. It gives you the basic structure for HTML. And as you can see, we have the head, which contains metadata, then it has the title and the body. Now let's talk about the title. The title is very important because this is where, or this is what people will see on the tab when they click on the link for your website. So let's call this introduction to HTML. And then we save it, go back to our folder on the desktop, then open it. As you can see here, the title we put on the code has been displayed here, Introduction to HTML. So it's very important that you consider that when you're creating your website. Yes, you're now a web developer. You are able to write the title. Great. Moving forward, I would like us to discuss a number of tags, just a few of them. Let's talk about the heading tag, the paragraph tag, and the image tag. So, as you've seen, the title is displayed on the tab section of the browser. And now you want a heading for your website, or the first thing that a person will interact with when they come to your website. So let's do a heading tag. That is the H1. And when we talk about the heading tag, there are a number of tags used for headings, because when you have a website, you will have the main heading, subheading, and other small headings. And this is where now you use this number of heading tags. So there is H1. In H1, let's say Introduction to HTML. Let's write here HTML. We can do H2. H2 has less importance compared to H1. So here you can type tags and elements. There's another one, H3. Under H3, you can type, let's say we have the heading. There's a heading tag. Now if we save this and go back to see what is going on with with our project, you will note that the first heading is bolder and bigger, and this reduces as you continue. So these headings run from H1 to H6. So let's add until we reach to H6. Is H4, H5, sorry, H5, and then H6. Here the heading tag is A. Or let's say elements. They're usually used interchangeably, but when you're talking about the opening, closing tag and the content in between, it is good to use element. And when you're just referring maybe to the opening or the closing or the two of them without content in between, you just refer to them as tags. We save this and then go and preview what we have on our website. You can now just go back to your website and refresh it. Then you see, now I think we have a good understanding of how the H1 to H6 tags work, and that is amazing. Let's now go to the paragraph. So paragraph tag can be used for a sentence or for a paragraph. When something is not a title, you don't want to attach importance to it, you will just use the P tag. Paragraph tag, it's written P. That way, it has an opening and a closing tag. It's important to note that there are elements that do not have the opening and the closing tag. They just have the opening tag. For example, image, break, HR, and many others which I will talk about. So here, let's type something. I am happy Yes, now let's save and preview it on the web browser. I cleared those. It is saying, I am happy to take you through this course, share with your friends. Now, there are other tags that can be used within the paragraph element. Let's say we want to make this word bold, to put it in italics. We use the I tag to make it italic. As you can see, the word happy is now in italic. Let's say we want to strike through the word course. If you want to strike through, there's a simple method to strike through is to use the delete tag written as DEL. When we save and look at it, we have striked through the word course. Something else you can play with is let's say you want to make the word through bold. Use strong. You can use strong or B. Let's use B here. We have used strong on the word through and B for bold on with. So let's check it out on our website. That is not saved. Let me save it. Control save. Then we go back and reload it. As you can see, strong has made through to become bold. The tag B has made with to become bold. And that is how you handle that. The last thing I would like us to go through is the image element. So let's delete this. Let's delete this one. And then do an example of how you can display an image on the website. Now, for images, we use a tag, an image tag written as img. As I said earlier, some tags do not have opening and closing tags, just has the opening tag. And here we are. Inside the image tag, you can see something src and alt. SRC stands for source and ALT stands for alternative. And these two things are important. You need to know that and you need to tell this image tag where to fetch the image from. And here we are going to tell it using the SRC, that is the source. And this is something, another concept referred to as an attribute. In HTML, any content that is inside the opening tag, especially the opening tag, is known as an attribute. So this is a source attribute, which we're using it to tell the page where to get the image from. And it is important that you put your images in the same folder where your projects are. So we want to use this image here. Let me move it to our folder. Now that the image has been moved into our folder, it has even reflected here. This is the image that I want us to display on our website. So we are going to give it a source. Here it is. As you can notice, this name it's so big, like it's so lengthy. If you find it so lengthy, you can always rename. So let's just rename it from here. Rename it to intro. Yes, now that we have renamed it, we'll come here and also change. We save that, then go to our website and load. You have noticed that the image has not displayed, and that is good because it gives us an opportunity to learn. So let's remove this / and save and see if it will display. Now our image has displayed. You see, so those are some of the things that you need to check on when your image doesn't display. Sometimes you will write without that / and it refuses to display, so you'll have to include it again. I will prepare a video talking about paths. Make sure to remind me if you want to see that video. Leave a comment so that we can talk about paths if you have images in a different folder other than the same one that you have your other projects. Or you can specify the width of the image because you've seen it has been so big. Let's specify it and give it maybe 400 pixels. Those are pixels. We'll talk about them later. And then we come and refresh. You see now our image has become smaller and manageable. That has been it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed taking you through this. If you have any questions, leave them on the comment section. If you want me to teach something, feel free to do so. And make sure to subscribe, that comment, and to share with your friends, share with people who are not into the tech space and they want to come into it, because this thing is not that hard. This thing is enjoyable. And see you on the next.